Mike brings up the central point that I've made several times in the first hour. And watching that one live feed that got out that's been on Al Jazeera, Press TV, Fox, CNN, hundreds of different local TV stations, scores of international networks, and we're going to continue to roll that in the background. In fact, I'll probably just play one of the reports, unedited coming up because we've got some clips here that are from start to finish with the Press TV reporters and others out on the deck. And you do hear banging and exploding in the minutes and seconds before the boarding. And that actually fits with how ships are normally boarded during a blockade. They fire tear gas, they fire flashbangs, they fire across the bow, the ship won't stop. Then the ship finally gets scared, it runs the flag up, and the Arabs and the pro-Palestinian group, they say, yeah, we ran the white flag up. Then the Israeli commandos come down because the ship has surrendered, and then the people attack them. So there's no doubt that the Israelis attack the ship with flashbangs and with tear gas. But the big issue is, and the problem is, Israel has the ships and can cover this up. If Israel fired real ammunition into the ship, there is no doubt this was illegal. Mike-Reviro?
Well, you need to remember that what Israel calls a rubber bullet is not what the United States calls a rubber bullet. The Israeli rubber bullets still have steel cores, and they are lethal at close distance. And the bottom line here is, again, Israel can make up any statements it wants about why it wants to stop the aid fleet, but they have never, ever once found any evidence of weapons going into Gaza. The ship was carrying construction supplies to repair the damage from cast lead, was carrying food, medical supplies, crayons, toys for the kids. All of these ships' cargoes were inspected at their ports of departure. Israel is basically throwing a tantrum and saying, you have to do what we tell you to do anywhere in the world. And you need to remember, Israel doesn't have the legal authority to issue orders to ships flying foreign flags in international waters. And again, Israel is just, making up these stories to justify continuing this blockade of Gaza to try and starve the Gazan people into leaving because Israel covets their land. This has been the agenda for the last 4 years. Israel is putting out all this propaganda to justify what is, in essence, unjustifiable. They're still coming out with this canard that Hamas took control of Gaza with a violent coup. They didn't. Hamas won the election. But Israel doesn't want to admit the election happened anymore because Israel believes in democracy only when their people can win. And they support the Palestinian Authority because the Palestinian Authority is so far basically just rolling over and allowing the West Bank settlements to continue and allow the encroachment of more, land grab. And basically what is left of Palestine is dissolving before the eyes of the Palestinian people. All of this is in defiance of United Nations resolutions. And I remember back in 2003, when we were sending our young men and women to go in and attack Iraq over weapons of mass destruction that Israel claimed they had, and they didn't have them, we were being told that the reason we were doing this was because Iraq was defying the United Nations. Well, now we have Israel defying the United Nations. And what does the United States government do? They stand up in the Security Council and say, oh, we can't criticize Israel for what they did. And it's just, it's angering to see the government of the United States of America so much supportive of the government of Israel.
Well, let me ask this. What's going to happen when the Turks send warships in? I mean, is Israel going to attack them?
I think Israel very well might. Israel cannot admit error. They cannot back down. I think there's going to be a confrontation at sea, and the whole region may blow up because Syria and Lebanon and all these other countries are saying Israel has started a new regional war.
And now you just said it. You just said it. Perfect timing. In Asia, we've got the Korea blow up between North and South with the torpedo, which is very suspicious. We'll talk about that when we come back. Separately, you've got the Middle East blowing up. You've got Iraq, setting fire again. You've got escalations in Pakistan and Afghanistan. Right as the central banks collapse Europe and the United States, right as the G20 is openly announcing the birth of world government, magically the wars start. Mike, how many times have we talked about in the last year that they're going to have wars? And the Rand Corporation said 2 years ago that they need wars all over the planet to bring in the world government. and that only a new world war can do it, and it looks like it's being delivered on a silver platter.
Yes, by Israel, and we need to keep that in mind here, because one of the problems we have with all of our previous wars are that the nations that really start them very often skip out sideways and the blame falls on a third party. And we need to remember, Israel is the author of this new global disaster.
Well, they let past aid ships in. Why did they stop this? We'll be right back with Mike Reviro.
Keep on forcing and fighting. They don't want to see us live together.
Your calls are coming up at 1-800-259-9231. Mike Reviro is our guest, and I can't say I really can argue with anything he's saying. I just want to expand on this because this is not happening by accident now. I looked it up yesterday, and there have been no fewer than 20 aid convoys, generally smaller ships, though, that Israel has openly let come in, carrying medicine, toys, construction supplies, things of that nature, educational supplies. Why did they decide to stop this one when it was coming out of Turkey? And why is this coming now? And we're also going to get into attacks on free speech here in the United States and, as I said, take some of your phone calls. The toll-free number to join us is 1-800-259-9231. Before we go back to Mike Reviro, we're carrying a new film that is very important. If the population is not educated about our true form of government and about the fact that it's our right and our duty under the 9th and 10th Amendment to take back our government, then we have no hope of ever reversing the globalist takeover. It's a private, offshore, corporate takeover of the United States, simply put. And the film by Gary Franchi and William Lewis, Don't Tread on Me, Rise of the Republic, has Michael Bagnerick, R.J. Harris, myself, Edwin Vieira, Richard Mack, Cynthia Davis, Charles Key, and many, many others. And it's so important that everyone see this film. It's one thing to know we have a corrupt, out-of-control government. It's another thing to know how to take it back, and this is a big part of the solution. What kind of government did the Founding Fathers intend for us when they struggled to form this nation? Did they seek another form of suppressive rule? Did they envision an enslaved population with few liberties? Don't Tread on Me gives the viewer a look into the minds of our forefathers and the legislation written to protect each and every one of us from a tyrannical government. Don't Tread on Me discusses the government's overuse of the Commerce Clause, the suppressed and ignored states' rights issue, Don't Tread on Me discusses the government's overuse of Commerce Clause, the suppressed and ignored states' rights issue, defines sovereignty, the proper role of government, a constitutional militia, and much more. Don't Tread on Me offers sound solutions to take back rights stolen from our out-of-control despotic federal government. Rights stolen from the American people by our out-of-control despotic federal government. It is such an important film to see. Again, Don't Tread on Me, Rise of the Republic. And, of course, there's a new film we produced, Jason Murmas directed, Invisible Empire, New Order Defined. And it just covers the history of the New World Order, what they're into, how they operate, the crimes they've committed, and over 100 clips of them calling for world government and New World Order. For somebody that wants a general overview of these people and who's been living in denial, a very important film for people to see. Again, available at Infowars.com. Or you can simply call toll-free 888-253-3139. And you can see both of these films in super high quality at prisonplanet.tv. You can also see coming up on Wednesday, Camp FEMA at prisonplanet.tv. We've been authorized to upload it there for prisonplanet.tv members.